Ladies and gentlemen, we back here at everyone's favorite collar and elbow conference call, the Sauce Pro Wrestling Show. And my name is the Hoss of the Sauce, Pete Moss. And over to my immediate right, we've got Noah G. And the G can quite frankly stand for whatever you want. Greatness, glory, grit, really anything. Conspicuous by their absences are Jack Attack Pickerel and the Simple Man, Noah Foster. They both have previous commitments, and unfortunately they're not able to make it. They are obviously very, very missed. Definitely.
Circumstances, not previous
Yes.
commitments. If they really wanted to be here,
yes.
Emergency circumstances, there's time. It's times like right now where that's been known to happen. But yeah,
it happened to me a few weeks ago.
It's just the two of us this week, buddy, and we're the only two that do not have access to the. Well, here's the thing: I don't want to download OBS to do the live stream.
I can't.
Right, you
can't. I can't download it.
I don't want to, just because I don't want it to take up so much space on my computer. But we're the only two that do not have access to the live stream on Twitch. But nonetheless, we are kicking it old school and giving everybody a live episode of, well, not a live, but an old school episode of the way we used to do things, which was on YouTube. But no, that was a solid intro, my guy. Well done. Well done.
Thanks. I don't normally open things up, but I was like, I never get to do it, and I was like, I actually asked right before we went on the air. I was like, can I try it? At least see if I'm good at it.
Yeah.
It's kind of like that hot sauce challenge thing.
I delegate that to you more often. That was.
It's kind of like that. It's kind of like that hot sauce thing where we were talking about, where I was just like, I kind of want to just try it just to see how far I can go. It's essentially the same concept. I actually did try a very, very bad hot sauce last night, and there was a single dramatic tear. I don't even know what the title of it. I don't think it's PG. If we're off the air, I'll tell you what it is.
It wasn't the bomb.
It was not the bomb, but you're hearing it here first. I am trying that next week.
Oh God, dude.
One of my roommates ordered it.
Don't do it.
I don't want to. I don't want to do it, but I'm ready.
Do it, but be prepared to shit acid next day. Because literally,
I have been told that when you swallow it, it feels like someone's grabbing your throat.
Nope. Not a fan of the hot sauce. But here's the thing. You and I, a perfect segue into what we are into is obviously we wouldn't be putting out content if we weren't about pro wrestling, if we weren't fans of said pro wrestling. And we had a pretty interesting week this week. First and foremost, the thing that everybody's talking about right now was the fact that WWE decided to release one of their mainstream stars who's been, put at the forefront of Monday Night Raw past few months. And then all of a sudden, with the flip, with the snap of the fingers, WWE releases Zelina Vega. And what I'm talking like an outpour of fans. I mean, she was live on Twitch and people were gift subbing like a motherfucker. Like they were
had her in tears. Had her in tears.
Yeah. They were giving her so much support, and the future is obviously unclear. But I think,
which it usually is. I mean,
right. Which is, I guess that's 2020 in a nutshell. One of the worst fucking years in American history. It's like, I won't go into that. Or a recent memory, I would say, in our lifetime. We're gonna
have a very interesting New Year's Eve, just to say the least.
Yeah. But anywho, this I feel like opens up a bigger can of worms in regards to WWE, how it treats its talent, and them as a company. Because WWE, like I don't want to speak for you, but growing up, I thought it would be awesome to work there. Now that I'm an adult, a 25-year-old man, and I'm able to I'm doing more research and learning about what it is actually like for people who used to work there. To me, it just sounds like they are. I'm just gonna say it. It seems like one of the most corrupt places to work for, because not only do they pay, they pay you a lot of money, which is nice. I mean, people who are talented and in the ways in which their stars are talented, they deserve to be paid what they're worth. But WWE takes that and licenses that as a way or a means to which they're able to do whatever they want and treat their, I'm not even going to say the word employees, because they're not employees. They're contracts for hire, and they're not even that, because Vince McMahon decides to tell them where to wrestle, when to wrestle, how to wrestle, even what you're going to be called, what you're going to wear, what you're going to say, because he's the boss man. But they don't get the benefits of being employees. If they had benefits, they wouldn't have to pay for their own insurance, and getting surgeries wouldn't come out of their pocket. It would come out of WWE's. They wouldn't have to set aside money. I mean, there would be a retirement plan, like they would have the benefits of being a WWE the benefits, a benefits package, whatever they decide it's supposed to be for being a WWE superstar. And they don't have that, because they're not employees, but they're technically contracts for hire. But as I said, Vince thinks he can just tell them everything that they're supposed to do because he's the boss. Which really,
all he sees is the crown.
All he sees is, to me,
the crown.
This is what frustrates me, is that to me, it's hard for me to, when people talk about him as this person who really cares about people and really cares about the stars on his shows, it's hard for me to believe that he sees them as actual people. I know that it's horrible to say, but I mean, it's the truth. I mean, to me, it seems like he's more concerned with how he's going to make money and how his stocks are going to shoot up, which, and in regards to storytelling and creative, is not helping him. AEW stock, on the other hand, is going through the roof right now, because not only are they're allowing their talent to be talented, but Tony Khan and Cody and Kenny and the Young Bucks, they're handling the business the way it should be, because they're allowing their talent to go other places. Not only that, they're taking care of them financially, but they're allowing them to be creative and be stars all around the world, not just in AEW. I think that's a big hindering factor, but we're going on a tangent. This is going back to, talent that has been released, like Zelina Vega. I don't know. Those were just my initial thoughts. To me, this now that I'm older, I have a better understanding of who Vince McMahon is, and this puts it into perspective.
Yeah, it's a rough can of worms, so to speak. And it bothered me. I even said on Twitter, I kind of canceled my WWE Network account.
What? You canceled the network, dog?
And to be honest, I don't know if that's gonna last. That may have been an impulsive decision. Because I was just, sometimes I'll just cancel streaming services that I don't use a lot because I need to save myself some money. So it might have been a 2 birds, 1 stone thing. But it isn't frustrating, yes. But Paige herself even said, something as far as, a lot of fans, even, as this was going on, said that like a lot of these fans kind of assume they know what's going on, and she said you don't really know until you worked there. And it's easy to assume that. That's not really what I'm trying to get into here. I've been hearing a lot of veterans of the business, and beyond Paige, I'm talking about people who have been in the business for upwards of 25, 30 years.
Did you see the interview? Oh, sorry.
Like Mark Henry and like Bubba Ray Dudley and a few others like talk about this, and a lot of them have said the same thing, that while they're sympathetic to Paige and Zelina Vega's cause, a lot of this, what this boiled down to, and I'm not saying I agree with it because I really don't. What it kind of boiled down to is that, you know, when you're signing your contract, you got to make sure you're reading it. And a lot of these people, when they were signing on to WWE, Twitch was not a thing.
Right.
But contracts do have loopholes. It's one of those things where you probably will see wrestlers not necessarily more reluctant to sign with WWE, but their lawyers will be reading those contracts a lot more heavily from now on.
Yeah.
Because they saw what Vince did.
Yeah.
And they're not going to let him do this again.
This has been going on for a long. Been going on for a long time. Personally, I think if there needs to be there's a big call for unionization right now.
I've been hearing about it.
The union amongst the wrestlers. Jesse Ventura was fighting for this back in the '80s when he was in the business. Governor Ventura, I should say. I don't know whether he's I think he's former governor.
I don't think he is anymore.
He did an interview on the Howard Stern show where he talked about this, and basically he had a pep talk with all the wrestlers in the locker room at that time, that Ventura did, and basically was calling them, to form a union, a wrestlers union. And Vince was not in the pit room. This was obviously when Vince was taking over had already taken over the company at that time from his father. And, nobody was, obviously somebody told Vince what was said during this meeting among the wrestlers, huh?
It was Hogan.
Yeah, exactly. And to me, I just hope that over time, you see, you and I, when we first heard about Zelina Vega getting released, we were obviously pissed. We were heated. We got onto Twitter and said, yo, this fucking sucks. This is disgusting.
No.
Now I think we've had.
I haven't even finished SmackDown because of it.
Huh?
I haven't even finished SmackDown because of it.
All I know is that Roman Reigns basically told Drew McIntyre that nobody watches Raw because they're all watching SmackDown.
And Paul Heyman said, "You're not missing much."
Right, exactly. That's what I got.
I know what happened. I just I tried to make a solid effort to actually watch it because I knew I was on a show where I'm supposed to talk about what happened, and I feel like I have a responsibility to have watched the show that I'm reviewing.
Right.
But
anywho,
I got bullet points. That's all I need.
Yeah, I think I just hope that eventually, whether it be that, Vince steps away, which is likely not going to happen because as far as we know, he's just going to die in the chair. I'm not wishing death upon anybody by any means, but I think somebody needs to step in and bring him to his senses. His talent deserve to be taken care of. If they're going to force a pay cut on their talent in order to either,
to sell Adirondack chairs.
What do you mean by that?
Like a lot of these pay cuts that they're receiving because of, from their Twitch accounts that, just basically to make more money.
Oh,
I was
just saying take a pay cut so that they can actually, or if they give them the option to put more of their paycheck towards benefits. I'm saying if they were able to come up with, they're $1 million company, they should be able to come up with a benefits package so that they can put money down on retirement, put money down on health insurance, put money down in hospitalization in case they get injured.
What I'm saying is that money that they're taking away from talent that they're making on Twitch, instead they're putting it towards meaningless merch on shop.com that, quite frankly, I would never buy. I don't know if you would. I wouldn't buy a Randy Orton Adirondack chair. I would never buy an Undertaker wine. Maybe an Undertaker wine, but nothing else.
Yeah, you better watch. You better, yeah. The WWE coming up with its own.
It is November.
WWE is coming up with its. Wait a second. So that I heard about that. That doesn't make any sense to me. Why they decide to come up with their own wine? They don't allow their talent. They don't
because they're running out of ideas.
They don't allow their own talent to come up with their own ideas. Furthermore, they don't allow their own talent, not since Stone Cold Steve Austin, with the exception of Stone Cold Steve Austin, to have a gimmick where they're allowed to drink alcohol on camera, because it's a PG show, and that whole thing, which is also ironic because youth today are being sheltered by WWE from the real world, where the real world is people are cussing all the time, they're drinking all the time, there's horrible stuff on the internet. You know, I could go on and on and on. And WWE still wants to hold on to this. Oh, we're a company, we're a show for kids. When they're losing a majority of their viewers who are the wrestling fans who can't take it anymore, and they would rather watch AEW on Wednesday nights because their content is more mature. And they have Hangman Page drinking.
It's not even, and it's not even the fact that they're more mature. It's that they know where to put these sort of things. They know when it's necessary to put things like blood. They know when it's necessary to put things like profanity, like the dog collar match. Like, I don't want to see blood every week, but I know when I want to see it, and they know when to put it in. Like, that's just an example. Like, you know, they know when it's necessary to put these kinds of things in. It's that simple. And it's also, you know, it also comes down to things like, you know, pop culture and mainstream folks in the wrestling business. People will say it's not necessary. It actually is necessary if you want your product to be cool again. But they also know when it's necessary. That's why Shaq is coming in when he's coming in now. You haven't seen him up until this point because he wasn't needed. Now is a good point to step him in because he's also going to get this new character, Jade Cargill, very, very over. Also, Brandy Rhodes. But we'll get there.
Who in? What was that name?
Shaq.
As in Shaquille O'Neal?
Did you watch AEW this week?
I was watching NXT because I was still expecting we were going to do a regular show, and then the other two.
I actually watched AEW instead of NXT this week. So, should we get into the Wednesday night wars?
Why not? Let's do it.
I'll let you start on NXT because you actually watched it.
Well, we had a brand new champion crowned at NXT. We had the unexpected
that I watched
of Johnny Gargano by Leon Ruff coming out of the woodwork and becoming North American.
Yeah.
Personally, I like this because two things got accomplished. One, you put a mid-card title on a brand new talent who is now given a huge space to prove himself, and he proved himself against Johnny Gargano, one of the best in WWE and NXT right now. And two, the backstage segment with him
and Damian Priest.
With Damian
where
Priest.
he gave him the keys to his car.
I think Damian Priest is now going to feud with said Johnny Gargano. Damian Priest will be maybe not at first, but eventually, when it matters most, be victorious over Johnny Gargano. Thus, it's going to launch Damian Priest into the NXT Championship picture. That is what I hope happens. I could see Damian Priest as an NXT champion. Santos Escobar, I really don't care because the cruiserweight champ, he's a hell of a heel and he annoys the piss out of me, so I'm not going to waste breath on him.
Who did he defend the championship against?
Defeated Santos Escobar. I don't even know if it was I'm just reviewing the results here just because my memory is a little iffy. Looking at the let's see. Santos Escobar. What the hell? Okay. If it'll let me play this whole thing. But let me review the whole thing. Highlights. Viewing. Sorry, we're buffering. Let's get this pulled up here. Let's see. Santos Escobar versus Jake Atlas for the Cruiserweight Championship.
He's a guy that hasn't done it for me yet. I feel like he's very generic.
Santos Escobar is doing the same thing everybody's doing.
At least Santos Escobar A has some character, and B brought two guys in who have been busting their ass for 4 years looking for opportunity. Raul Mendoza has been
4 years and cheating. He's cheating in every match. He's not winning any straight up.
Raul Mendoza has been jobbing for waiting for an opportunity to come along, and he finally has one, and he's on TV. I would say, he kind of has Santos Escobar to thank for that one.
Mm-hmm. We had Tony Storm and Candice LeRae put on an absolute clinic Wednesday night.
Didn't you say Raquel Gonzalez did something?
With Raquel Gonzalez. Yeah. She just beat some dude up, it looks like. She came out and by herself, no Dakota Kai. Here's the thing. I was able to hear many other people make the same argument that I made last week. What the hell is Raquel Gonzalez still doing on the outside ring supporting Dakota Kai when we just saw her in a hellacious steel cage match, I think it was, with Rhea Ripley. Like, she can hold her own. She doesn't need to be anybody's gopher. And yet they just want to keep putting her at Dakota's side and helping her win all her matches, which, I mean, we've seen it already. Like, it's time to move on. Like, just make Raquel not turn on Dakota, but just make her say, I'm done sticking up for you, or something like that. Like, I don't know. But
I will say this, over time, Raquel Gonzalez will be the NXT Women's Champion.
Oh yeah.
It's gonna happen.
I thought of a brilliant idea. If I were to take 3 women in WWE today and make a female version of this,
This is awful.
What you're drinking?
It's iced coffee, but it's like warm now.
Ooh. Okay. If I were to make a female version of the Shield, hear me out on this one. I know it's like a weird idea at first, but hear me out. Shayna Baszler,
I actually do that.
Shayna Baszler, Mercedes Martinez, and Raquel Gonzalez. My God.
Do you accept card? I don't have any cash.
Hey, you need my money. I need to take my money now. Hey, no, that's what I would do. I'd do that. That'd be fucking sick. That'd be the female version of the Shield. If I wanted to have if I wanted to put the 4 horsewomen of WWE against another 4-woman group, it would be those 3 plus Sonya Deville, and that would be badass as fuck too. But anyway, no.
Here.
Huh?
I said here.
Here.
I was looking for my
let's
koozie.
see. We had Dexter Lumis go up against Timothy Thatcher, which
Good match.
I personally like what they're doing with Timothy Thatcher, and I really like his character as like this old school, like, I'm gonna put a hold on a motherfucker, and I'm gonna basically become a heel by basically executing all my holds on these up and coming talent. Sometimes they might get one over on me, and then I'm gonna beat their ass.
Dude, can you imagine him and FTR in a group?
Oh my God, that would be awesome.
Like them in a faction together.
That would be insane.
I'd basically tell it.
Go.
So I'd sign up for that immediately.
Yeah. We got another package of Rhea Ripley versus Io, which that got me real hyped, because I'm like, I cannot wait to see the result of this match. Not to mention, you have, I don't know, like I honestly don't know what's going to happen with this one, because like it could go either way, because Io's been defending the title successfully against everybody up to this point. But on top of that, you have, uncompromising brutality, play on words or play on her theme song, in Rhea Ripley. Like these two are just like it's like the unstoppable force and the immovable object, when it comes to the women in NXT. So I'm like super stoked to see that match. And I already mentioned with Candice LeRae and Toni motherfucking Storm. My goodness. And then I don't see where, I don't even remember what exactly the main of. What the hell was even the main event?
Wasn't there a tag title match?
It was the tag title match between Lorcan and the other one. Lorcan and blah, 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 blah. Damn it. Birch. Or Lorcan and Birch defeating Breezango again. And then you have Pete Dunne and Pat. Okay, here's the thing. What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts on the Pat McAfee faction?
I fucking love the Pat McAfee faction.
Oh my god, it's so entertaining to watch.
Okay,
I love to hate him because he's got.
I think they could come up with. I think they could come up with a better name, but I mean, like,
they look packaged, like they're
just calling themselves. They're just calling themselves the Kings of NXT. I don't think that like, I don't see that as a name. Right, but yes, I love it. And this goes back to my Shaq argument. And when I go to review AEW, you'll see what I'm talking about. But if you have anything else to say about NXT,
I love to hate the Pat McAfee faction. Hope they come up with a name. Hope they continue to look more like a packaged product. But then again, it is also working that they're like this ragtag team of like Pat McAfee's making. He's just like putting these three guys together, and then with him, just delivering punt kicks to people, or going for the, he's doing his kicker shit because he's an NFL kicker, so he's kicking people in the head, And I will go on record and say that match that he put on with Adam Cole, we have not seen anybody from the outside of WWE and outside of pro wrestling perform as well. I would say he did better in his first match with Adam Cole than Ronda Rousey did in the tag match with Kurt Angle and Triple H and Stephanie. And I would say he also did better than Kane Hernandez against Brock Lesnar in the middle of Saudi.
Velasquez.
Huh?
Cain Velasquez.
I said Hernandez. My bad.
All right.
Blotch. I would say he's, of recent memory, he's the best talent outside of WWE to come into WWE and do as well as he's done. So props to Pat McAfee for that.
I would say two things. One, with all the hate that Ronda gets, that debut match, I don't think she gets enough credit for it because she honestly came in and surprised a lot of people. The second thing, I can think of one other match that is as good as Pat McAfee's debut match when it comes to celebrity matches. I can't remember what year it was, but it was Bash at the Beach. Dennis Rodman and Hulk Hogan versus DDP and Karl Malone. Dude, Dennis Rodman came into that match hungover and put on a good match. There's a spot of Karl Malone delivering a rock solid diamond cutter. Both of these men were not wrestlers. They were just straight up basketball players. They put on a rock solid performance. Wow. And also, people forget they were both competing against each other in the finals. Dennis Rodman skipped practice during the finals to be on Nitro. Like, Phil Jackson was having an aneurysm when that was going on.
Phil
Like,
Jackson, the same coach that hired. Wait, is this the same Phil Jackson that hired Lamar Odom to the New York Knicks?
might actually be.
Oh my
We'll circle
God.
back to this.
Yeah, you have footage of Stephen A.
He's calling
His first
Eric.
move.
He's calling Eric Bischoff like freaking the fuck out. It's like, where's my guy? Where's my guy?
Right.
So is there anything else you would like to say
What
about
I'd
NXT?
like to say about NXT, all I know is that I'm hyped for the women's match going forward, and obviously anything with Toni Storm on it. Love to see Toni get more and more of a push. Also, the Pat McAfee faction is the hottest thing in NXT right now. That's all I will say about this week. You go ahead with AEW because
Okay.
we need to talk about it.
Before I do, I have one thing I want to say about the women's title match.
Okay.
I have an idea of how it could possibly go.
Okay.
Hear me out because it's chances are it's probably not going to happen, but it'd be insane if it did. So I think it's probably going to be EO retaining. But either way,
EO versus what? Who?
EO retaining.
Okay. Why?
I don't see Rhea getting the title back when she's got Rhea's more than likely going to the main roster. We have to accept the fact that it's probably happening. But either way, regardless of who this person ends up targeting, I see someone showing up to cause a stir in this match. And whether the title's involved or not, I see this person being a common denominator.
Who's that?
Maybe Tessa Blanchard?
Oh, shit. Tessa Blanchard showing up in NXT. Like, is she going to be like masked? Masked shows up, costs them the match, takes the mask off, and everyone's like, oh my God, it's Tessa Blanchard.
Dude, Rhea could win the title and then get her ass kicked by Tessa Blanchard. I could be talking out of my ass. Who the hell knows?
I don't know about Tessa Blanchard going to WWE because I mean the woman just came back from being a heavyweight champion in Impact. Do you think she would make the business decision to go to a company where she knows she's not going to be able to get the same opportunity? I mean, unless she goes there and fights for it, she could go to AEW.
She could. There's two ways of looking at this. She's not people's favorite person right now.
No.
Allegedly. But at the same time,
Hulk Hogan's not everyone's favorite person.
But at the same time, she's also, busting her ass trying to clean that reputation up, and she also has a father in AEW trying to stick up for her. I don't know. I also don't work in the wrestling business, so I don't know what's going on behind the scenes over there. All right, I'm going to stop talking about this so I can finally talk about AEW.
Yeah, Dynamite.
I actually light the fuse. So it started with new animations, new schemes and things like that. Nothing major, no new changes, like nothing crazy, just like new fonts and shit like that. Something like there were just noticeable subtle changes. It felt kind of like a season premiere, so to speak. And it started out with Brian Cage coming out as, with the FTW World Championship in tow. Mm-hmm. Taz came out and dropped a promo with Darby Allin sitting in the rafters with the TNT title, doing the Sting thing. And Darby Allin came out and not Darby Allin, Brian Cage was competing in a match against Matt Sydal.
Oh, goodness.
Unfortunately, Matt Sydal did not come out on the winning end on this one.
Damn.
It was a pretty good match. I'm trying to think. trying to remember what happened at the end of the match here, but after the match, Ricky Starks warned that Team Taz's presence will be felt soon enough. Something like the revolution will be televised or something like that. A lot more of the shit that makes you hate him.
Yeah,
he's not my favorite either, but
copying everybody else.
Yes. And then this is the segment that had people talking. I don't even need notes for this one. So Cody Rhodes came out and essentially congratulated Darby Allin on beating him for the title, and said that him and Arn Anderson weren't going to be seeking a rematch anytime soon, but instead he was going to seek a rematch to get another loss expunged from his record against one MJF. But before he could, get any of that out of the way, a certain woman came over to talk to him. She just kind of walked into the ring. The way she walked.
Okay, now we're bringing my memory back.
Yes. This segment itself was very messy. I
became a huge fan of Brandy after this segment, but continue.
So she basically was like talking about, said how he was a giant killer, but basically I don't even remember what all she said. But yeah, essentially it ended with him. It's like, congratulations on getting your name back. Too bad you don't have the balls to go by one name. The giant you're talking about, he's the real star. His name is Shaq. I'll circle back to that in a minute. She came out and said, and I quote, "Who the hell told you tonight was open mic night, bitch?" I think she threw out the word heifer. I don't know.
Right. She threw out bitch a couple times, called her heifer. No, I started watching A Shot of Brandy because of that. Really, it's a really cool concept.
And then Jade Cargill slapped her on the ass. It was a good thing. Then Team Taz came back out. I was just like, guys, get the fuck out of here.
Slapped who in the ass?
Brandy.
Oh no.
Refs came out. It was a whole thing. All right.
Hell no.
Here's the thing. Here's I'm just gonna come right out and say this. Whether people like it or not, pop culture icons in pro wrestling are important. Do they need shoved down our throats? Not necessarily. We've seen, this is the second one that we have seen in AEW so far, which means Tony Khan probably knows what he's doing. So, honestly, the Attitude Era was as good as it was because Mike Tyson knocked Shawn Michaels out. Look at all the celebrities that were involved in the first WrestleMania. Liberace, Mr. T, Billy Martin, Cyndi Lauper. I could go on and on and on and on.
What's the other one? Guy from Alice Cooper.
Alice Cooper.
The Snake.
Kane tombstoning Pete Rose. I could go on and on and on and on. I mean, it's just these are honestly a big part of the things that make people come back in and tune into our product. They're not the thing that keep them around. That's the thing. People don't want to admit that because they feel like it's an insult to the other wrestlers. It's not. If they want pro wrestling to be cool, if they want it to be that top level again, this is necessary. I personally, I want wrestling to be on this level again.
Right.
I don't want to be that guy in my group of friends that's the one lone loser watching pro wrestling. I would like to, have it be a collective thing that we all watch together. I would like, if this leads to that, that'd be a cool thing.
Yeah. But I think you can agree that AEW is doing better at it than WWE is. I mean,
of course they are, but that's because they're not shoving it down everybody's throats. They know to just sprinkle it on. It's no different than cooking a dish. You just need the right amount.
It's not that WWE is forcing it down. Well, they're forcing it down people's throats, and they're also not they're honestly not WWE is not trying to cater to an audience that's the majority. AEW is more catering its product towards the majority audience, which is the fan that is no longer wanting to be, watching wrestling because they want what they had in the 90s in the Attitude Era. Now WWE is trying to do this weird thing where it's like there are a few examples where this isn't happening. Look at it seems to me like Roman is not. Oh my God, the promo that he cut with Drew on SmackDown, Roman was just talking. He was just talking, not trying to say anything loud. He was just straight up talking. And I'm like, you got me in. You got me hooked.
Side note, not that I don't want to get on a tangent or anything. Do you ever feel like the piped-in crowd at the Thunderdome is a little too loud?
The what?
Do you ever feel like this is just a side note, but do you ever feel like the piped-in crowd at the Thunderdome is just a little too loud?
The recorded audio clips of people booing and cheering. That's what you're talking about.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sometimes I feel like I don't mind it. I don't mind the crowd being there, but it's just if I'm struggling to hear the promo, at that we got a problem.
It's not. But here's the thing. It's not that they have the video screens with the crowd there. What I'm saying is, if they had no sound other than them talking, you heard the commentary, you heard when they're wrestling, but I mean, the thing is, maybe you add that in during the matches so you can actually protect them calling each other's moves while they're in the ring to protect that somewhat. But during a promo, I wouldn't mind if there was no sound other than the dialogue.
Yeah,
if there's no crowd reaction to what's being said, I'd be okay with that.
But back to what I was saying, man. If you people just need to understand, this is what's going to make people. This is one of the things that's going to make AEW back on that level. They're obviously, they want them to recognize what the effort that all these wrestlers are putting in. But this is what's going to make a lot of those fans that have tuned out from wrestling all these years. It's going to make them tune back in. It's not going to keep them tuned back in. But, you want something to, at least, you need some bait.
When you say AEW back on that level, what do you mean? I mean, AEW, I feel like is on that level, and their fans is the majority of the people that WWE is trying so hard to gain right now. In regards to the Wednesday Night War, that AEW went to lengths to describe as not really a real war. We created the Wednesday Night War between AEW.
Well, yeah, of course, but think of all those people who say, I stopped watching so long ago. It's not as good as it was in the Attitude Era.
And most of those fans are watching AEW right now. They're not watching.
I don't think nearly as many have come back as you like. I feel like there are so many more that have yet to come back.
For sure.
You can always have more, and that's one of the reasons that Shaq is there. And people probably should go ahead and accept this now. The Mike Tyson fight is probably going to happen with Jericho.
Oh my God, that would be awesome.
If Mike Tyson's face is still in full peace after that fight, that's probably what we're getting at Revolution.
Goodness gracious. I think it'd also be exciting to see a Wardlow versus Jake Hager match. I mean, this is on a
that would honestly make all the sense in the world.
Right.
All right. But
what was the main event of Dynamite?
Let me get there. But first off, because we got on a tangent there.
Yeah.
After the Brandy segment, there was an interview with Alex Marvez, essentially just talking about how he beat Eddie Kingston. About how he's got to face Kenny Omega. Just casual interview. Now here's the awesome thing about this match. It is on Dynamite, December 2nd.
This is Jon Moxley and Kenny Omega for the title. Or what match are you talking
about? For the championship. Yes.
Uh-huh.
I actually asked off for work for this.
Awesome.
So, like, I was just like, can I please open this day? Like, at least something that involves me having the evening off. And I will throw my phone.
Getting off of work early on that day.
I will throw my phone out the window if people try to spoil NXT for me while all this is going on.
Oh, goodness.
And then there's the bunkhouse match between the Butcher, the Blade, and the Bunny. It was a violent match between the Natural Nightmares and the Butcher and the Blade. A lot of ladders, a lot of weapons, a lot of handcuffs, and also the Bunny went through a table.
Jesus.
Yes.
Yeah.
People that say that hot chicks can't wrestle, she just proved them wrong.
Excellent.
Oh yeah. Dustin Rhodes did some work with the bull rope, by the way.
There you go.
Oh yeah, there's the best part. MJF and Wardlow's induction into the Inner Circle.
Yeah.
Chris Jericho got on the podium. See, that's the thing. People kept forgetting that, Wardlow is like a package deal. Like, where MJF goes, Wardlow goes.
Mm-hmm.
So, per usual, Ortiz and Sammy Guevara were not into this at all. So at some time during this, Matt Hardy cut a promo basically giving Sammy Guevara props for surviving the Elite Deletion, but I don't really know where that is. Right. MJF's speech was Drake lyrics. I don't know what song specifically, but Ortiz was like, "Really? Drake?" He's like, "I started from the bottom and now I am here." And then all these tickets out and going, "We're going to Vegas."
Yep. And then I saw the photo of them in Vegas, and I don't know which one. It's either obviously it's Santana or Ortiz. It's always next to Sammy Guevara. They're not smiling. Jake Hager and
I think it's Ortiz.
Jake Hager and Wardlow are always looking at each other, looking at each other from across, and everybody. And then MJF and Chris are smiling. All of them are holding their Vegas tickets. It's I like this inner. The inner circle has inner suspicion. The inner circle has inner conflict.
Yes.
I can make on and on.
So Alex Marvez interviewed the Young Bucks reluctantly because, last time he took a super kick.
Yeah.
And so next week, the Young Bucks will be defending the AEW Tag Team Championships against indie wrestling sensations Top Flight. They're brothers. They're indie sensations, much like the Young Bucks. Mm-hmm. And after this, we got Shawn Spears versus Scorpio Sky. Fun fact about Sky, he is 12-3 in his past 15 matches in 2020.
Oh, wow. Hell yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what Shawn Spears' record is, but it was very similar to Scorpio Sky's. But bottom line, they both had very good years.
Yep. 2 more contenders for Darby Allin's TNT Championship, if not the World Championship.
I would probably put Scorpio Sky up for the world title at some point. Honestly, wow. I would honestly put him for the world title.
Do you got? Speaking of going back to December 2nd, who you got coming out as world champion?
If they were going to jump the gun like this, here's the thing. I didn't expect them to jump the gun with a match like that. I gotta give it to Mox.
You got Moxley again picking up a victory against Kenny Omega. You got Kenny Omega, who's now, they're diverting from the.
Okay, hold on. Okay, hold on. Let me.
Cleaner is back.
one of two people is getting involved, if not both. Either Hangman or Lance Archer. So it's tough. I don't know. Like,
Hey, both. Maybe both.
So this may be a thing where it leads to a 4-way. You don't see a lot of multi-man matches, but like this could lead to that at Revolution. I would like to see that. Omega, Archer, Page, and Mox for the world title.
Ooh.
That'd be a good fucking match.
Oh my god, yeah.
If they're gonna keep Archer involved like that, they might as well just get this thing out of the way. And
I think personally, with the match at December 2nd, I can see Kenny Omega walking out as world champion because he wasn't able to pull off a victory over Moxley before. He's going through losing the tag titles, being set, distancing himself from the elite, focusing down, lasering in. He's been pulling off victories, and I could see him pulling off a victory against Mox. If not, Mox has been almost champion for a year now. Like, he's been a world champion since February. We're in November of 2020. We're creeping up on that year. But I don't know. To me, I would not be surprised if Kenny became champ.
So after this, Tay Conti, accompanied by Anna Jay, faced Red Velvet, accompanied by Brandy Rhodes. So essentially, this was a pretty quick match. It ended with Tay Conti. Tay Conti was Anna Jay was trying to get Tay Conti to be, a little bit darker and kind of a heel, and she wasn't into it. She just wanted to, win the match, right. And she did pick up the win with her finishing move, which I am very much into. You know what the gory special is, right? Where they like kind of pick her up, kind of a razor edge finisher, razor edge kind of style. She basically kind of like spins her around and then like into like the GTS knee.
Yeah,
I call it the gory to sleep.
Gory sleep. I like it.
She probably has another name for it, something with in another language. Something infinitely cooler than what I came up with, but
Yeah, well, it's most likely it's in Spanish because our girl is from that part of I think she's from Brazil, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I can't
Brazilian jiu-jitsu.
And I can't name finishers for shit.
Right. Tenada. Her name is Tenada Conti.
So now we got the main event. The Lucha Bros facing off in a rematch with Eddie Kingston on commentary. They tore each other's masks damn near in half.
The Lucha Bros going up against each other, man.
Again, it was a good match.
Pentagon, it was another person who I can see becoming AEW World Champion down the line and having a decent run.
So they essentially just backdropped each other multiple times, ripped each other's masks nearly off, and eventually Penta hit him with the double arm pile driver to pick up the victory. And Eddie Kingston came up and said, "You're my best friend. You're my best friend." Kicked Phoenix out of the ring. Whose music hits? Pac.
A bastard.
The Death Triangle is back.
Yes.
So essentially, like it just ended with the refs trying to break him up.
Yeah. But the Death Triangle is Pac with Pentagon and or the Lucha Bros, right? That's the Death Triangle.
And essentially, that just broke up when the pandemic hit, because Pac spent most of his time in England.
Right, but now he's back. Now the bastard is back.
Now, whether this actually leads to the Death Triangle reuniting, I don't know. Like, the Lucha Bros might keep their allegiance sworn to Eddie Kingston. I don't know. Eddie Kingston just kicked Phoenix out of the ring. So who the hell knows?
Right. What I could see also is, I mean, if Pac's going to do a solo run, I mean, he could team with Phoenix, and then Eddie Kingston versus Pentagon, and then they do a tag team.
No. Pac, someone. Yes, Pac is somebody that I want to see with a title run.
Oh, for sure. I mean, he was denied a championship. I mean, he almost pulled off a championship victory over Seth Rollins back in WWE. I remember that match. But I mean,
did he?
He was underlooked, huh?
When was this?
This was during Seth Rollins' first WWE championship run, back when he was Neville, and they had a WWE championship match on Raw. Neville / Pac goes for the spinning Falcon Arrow or whatever it is off the top rope.
The red arrow.
The 3 count, kicks out, and Seth goes for the curb stomping, picks up a victory. Yeah, look back at the records. It happened. It was a one-on-one match for the WWE Championship on Raw, and that's the highest Neville ever got in WWE. After that, it was just
Jericho.
Cruiserweight. It was losing the cruiserweight title to Enzo. Okay.
The next year, Jericho mentioned when he went on the Hot Ones show that he was in a match against him when he was Neville right before WrestleMania that next year, and he mentioned the baseball slide that he did where he broke his ankle 2 weeks before WrestleMania, and it kept him out. The Intercontinental title ladder match that Zack Ryder won, he was supposed to be in that.
Damn.
Yeah, and when he was talking about that baseball slide, when Jericho was talking about that, I was just like, I watched that happen. I was just like, I know what he's talking about. It's
Neville
heartbreaking.
Broke his ankle from that baseball slide?
Yes.
Jesus.
It sucks, man. He was supposed to be in a ladder match.
Yeah.
In front of 100,000 people.
The sad thing was Zack Ryder won the Intercontinental Championship that night and then lost it to The Miz the next night on Raw, which kind of pissed me off.
The thing about that sucks is not the fact that he won the title. Like, that was a cool moment. But, they had him drop it the next night, which sucks. But at the same time, I've been saying that, Miz should have broken the Honky Tonk Man's record and everything. All good and well. But that moment with Zack Ryder, they still, after doing Zack Ryder dirty like that, continued to glorify that moment.
Right.
If I'm Zack Ryder in that situation, I'm insulted.
Right.
Well, more insulted than, them firing me and then going on to ask if they can borrow my fucking pool, which they did.
Goodness gracious. Well, Matt Cardona is now in AEW and one of Cody Rhodes' most trusted.
He's not signed.
Family. Huh?
He's not signed.
Oh, shit. That's right. They didn't sign him. He just showed up and made an appearance.
It's possible he kind of wanted to see what other options he had first. Like Brian Myers is an Impact. He may want to, dip his toes in those waters. I think he'd be good in Impact.
Speaking of Impact, we had some, what was last night? Last night was...
Turning Point.
Turning Point. Deonna Purrazzo, the Impact champion, once again.
She won?
God, yes. She beat Su Yung.
I'm happy for her, but part of me selfishly really wanted to see her kind of show up on Dynamite. She still could do that. Like, Deonna on the razor thin chance that you are listening to this, Deonna, try and show up on Dynamite one of these days.
That would be
Fly on to Jacksonville. Fly on to Jacksonville.
Show up on the next AEW pay-per-view and go up against Serena Deeb for the NWA championship, and then walk out of AEW not even working for them with 2 championship belts as the ultimate fuck you to WWE. That would be awesome.
I got a good one. Sheeta versus Serena Deeb versus Deonna
Oh
Purrazzo.
my god, dude! All 3 belts on the line.
Sure, why the fuck not?
Dude, that to me sounds okay. Wait. That's not that I don't love that. To me, that sounds like just overload, like overkill. Like it just sounds like you're just trying to like go for the full effect and just be like whoever wins this match not only gets all the championships but gets
All the pressure.
all the pressure. I mean, like that's just like that's a definite FU to WWE. But the photo shoot would look pretty dope for whoever won that match.
It's kind of like that one time that Kurt Angle won the TNA title, the IWGP title, and like he won like
Was
it was like
the X Division and like the tag titles too? He had all this gold on him.
it was at Victory Road, I think, in 06. But no. Here's something I forgot to mention from Dynamite, because it's not from this past week's, but it's from this coming week. Speaking about so Thunder Rosa, not only is she going to be on, she's basically going to be on all of AEW programming. She's going to be on. Give me a minute. Damn it! I can't type. What's the date?
Today is the 15th.
11. So no, damn it.
Buffering.
So it's not that it's buffering. It's because she's on Dark with an indie wrestler. I can't remember her name. It's Lindsay something. But she's also invoking her rematch clause on Dynamite against Serena Deeb for the NWA Women's Championship.
Oh, goodness.
So we basically get a thunderous week.
I see what you did there.
I did. I had to do it. I had to do that.
That's a good one.
I love the puns.
Yeah. But anywho.
They're bad puns, but I mean, they're puns.
Right. But anywho, no, we have a new, we not only have a new, switching gears to Impact, we not only have a new Knockouts champion in response to, or as a result of Turning Point, we also have new tag team champions, the Good Brothers.
The Good Brothers won?
Yep, they did. They pulled off a victory and became the new tag team champions in Impact Wrestling.
I just want to say something right now. Last night, I worked and then I took some really bad hot sauce and it cut off some brain cells. So I don't know what happened last night other than my experience at that pizza place where I took that hot sauce. So my apologies for not knowing what happened at Turning Point. I do know that James Storm came back.
Yeah. James Storm. I just hope eventually what happens is Bobby Roode leaves Robert Roode, excuse me, leaves wait. I'm confused. So wait, is Rob
Does it matter?
Yeah, I'm trying to think.
I don't think it matters.
I'm trying to think of the guy back in the day who wore the robe and basically was that's not
the Glorious?
No. He has the same last name. That's Rick Rude. Okay, now I'm
Ravishing Rick Rude?
That's Rick Rude, and it's R-U. That's still spelled R.
Cut the music. Cut the music.
Right. Show you what a real sexy man looks
What
like.
I need you to do is all you New England sweat hogs, or whatever the hell he says. What's hilarious is like you look at all like the women in the crowd, even though like they are enthralled by him, like when he's like taking his shirt off and everything, like they don't look like it. They just look uncomfortable.
Right.
They're just like, I'm sure they like what they see. I sure they do, but they don't look like it. Like you like just understand there is a camera in your face. Like at least try to like look like you are attracted to him.
Right. There's also but speaking of it, there's a story that Stone Cold likes to tell about Rick Rude about how actually, I won't go into that. I can't even repeat the full story verbatim, but it was just all about how Rick Rude had a big problem with Stone Cold's use of profanity and using the Lord's name in vain, and he's getting all purple in the face, frustrated, and Stone Cold goes to babyface him, and he's like, "Thank you very much. You're goddamn welcome, son of a bitch."
I feel like Rick Rude's physique is like physical cursing.
Right.
That's how I choose to look at that. I say that as a compliment. I'm jealous of it. That dude had things I aspire to have, and I say that while I'm opening up another can of alcoholic beverage.
Yep, there you go. Good thing to do is to do a dry week. I'm currently in a dry week, not drinking any alcohol for the next week, which is hard for me to cut a solid promo when I'm not drinking any alcohol.
Yeah.
Also,
honestly, I did have an intention this past week when I got paid to go back to my CrossFit gym, but then I genuinely like went over to my coach and I was like, "Hey, I'm coming back," and everything like that. But my and if he's listening to this, I love him. The governor obviously came in and said, we don't know what's going to be going on and things like that. And so it's like, I don't want to roll the dice.
Right. Yep. I'm in that same space where I'm trying to figure out whether I'm going to get a new gym membership and start hitting the weights again. I
canceled mine.
I got a gut. I gained a belly, a beer belly over the fucking pandemic. So I'm trying to get rid of this shit. But anyway,
I guess it works for Kevin Owens.
But I'm just tempted to just get a pair of weights, just get a set of weights here and just work out in my basement.
I've got a few. Like I got my brothers got a few, and sometimes we'll just do workouts. So Rich Swann
retained the Impact World Championship last night, which
against Sami Callihan, right?
Yeah. This is the same Sami Callihan who went up against Tessa Blanchard for the World Championship.
He actually, fun fact, he went to high school about 25 minutes away from me.
No kidding.
Yeah, he's about 5 years older than me. But yeah, he is a Logan County alum.
Wow. Can we also talk about something going back to WWE real quick? Can we also talk about the fact that yet another we're adding to the count of the number of women that get injured at the hands of Nia Jax, who Nia Jax has not. She's been putting Lana through a table all week and for weeks. What is it? 8 weeks now, 2 months now in a row that Lana's gone through a table, and Lana's okay, not injured at all. And Mandy Rose is the one that gets injured now, which kind of sucks because they were, I liked what they were doing with her and Dana Brooke.
I did too.
I liked that.
It's one of the few things that had a genuine build to it.
Right. I liked the duo. But, again, just hope that they're able to I mean, maybe Dana takes some time off as well, and then they come back together. That would be my move. That would be my move in this instance.
I don't know. I don't know if I would do that simply because when you see, like we've seen when, tag teams have a member get injured and the other one by proxy, goes on the sidelines with them just because, their partner's not able to compete.
Like with the Usos.
With the Usos and with AOP. Razor was injured, and eventually, before Razor was cleared again, AOP got released.
God damn.
It would not be in. I don't know if it'd be in Dana Brooke's best interest to get to take time off during Mandy Rose's injury, especially when they're both singles. Especially when they're both singles competitors.
Right.
Like I'm scared shitless for the Viking Raiders right now.
Yeah.
My thing with that is, and I've said this before. Obviously, this is something that's on Nia Jax, and I finally admitted that. But at the same time, someone needs to, have the balls to like set her aside and be like, you've got to like start being less reckless. And also the entire year that she was out, I don't see why like she was in a performance center that had 7 rings. I don't even know if that's the right number, but it was a multiple number where she had the opportunity to take this flaw, for lack of a better term, and improve on it. How are you out for a year and not able to take this thing that is a problem and not be able to, let's be honest, I feel like she saw the fact that the Becky Lynch thing happened. She saw how much steam Becky Lynch got from it and thought that it was more of a strength than a weakness. And let's be honest, I'm not saying I agree with that, because like as cool as that moment was, it's still something that in a lot of ways hurt Becky Lynch because she wasn't able to fight Ronda Rousey in that match of Survivor Series. There was cons with
one-on-one match that we all wanted to see so badly. It was Becky Lynch versus Ronda one-on-one at Survivor Series.
It's a tough situation because there were cons with the pros. It's an image that will live forever, but there was it's also a match that we were robbed of, and we might be robbed of it forever because Ronda Rousey is a stone cold bitch that will not. I
don't know about that.
I'm not saying it's not warranted.
The odds of Ronda Rousey coming back to WWE are more likely than CM Punk coming back to WWE. So I mean, I would say the odds are less slim for Ronda, especially if Becky comes back after pregnancy.
Look at how much of her contract she has written out.
All of it, pretty much.
Pretty much, yeah. Like, I feel like if she was going to come back, she would have by now. But then again, she might be waiting for Becky to come back.
Yeah. Speaking of people returning, I heard a report that the Bella Twins made it public that they want to do one more run and they want to gun for the tag team championships.
Can I pull up an article on that?
Yeah, go ahead. I mean, they went on. I think
this way we can seem professional on the matter.
Mario Lopez, and basically told him that they want to come back and do one more run. Personally, I don't oppose this as much as but then again, I don't oppose this. Except, even though, in my opinion, the Bellas are more the reason why they're Hall of Famers is because they came into a business in a time where women's wrestling wasn't really as held as a high of a standard as it is now. Therefore, they aren't well known for their ring work. They're more known for their botches and their characters. I mean, they were phenomenal heels. And also in a time when women's wrestling was not seen as seriously. Hence the whole "Give Divas a Chance" movement that trended on Twitter for a whole week or whatever it was. But no, if they came back as would-be Hall of Famers and won the tag team champions, that'd make money. I'd fucking love that. And to see that image of them being champions and having a run, I'm all for it. Go for it. If they can do it and they can still work, they have 3 kids amongst themselves. You know, they're would-be Hall of Famers, and they want to be the tag championships on one last run in WWE before they retire. Fuck yeah. Go ahead, do it. I don't know if you have any other thoughts or in disagreement.
So this comes from Pro Wrestling Sheet. It's pretty much what we just talked about. Shout out to Pro Wrestling Sheet for this interview. This was hard for Nikki and I. When we left, all of a sudden the WWE Women's Tag titles came in, and we were like, wait a sec, that's for the Bella Twins. We've been dying to have tag titles. Bree said during the interview. And so we have one more run in us, and we really want to go for those tag titles. She added. So I feel like people might hear the way that was worded and think that they're entitled to it. I don't think that's sometimes you say something and you don't mean to say it that way. Because that's the thing, like, I do want to see it happen, but I do want to see it happen the right way. I would like to see them.
By that, you mean earn the number 1 contendership, earn the championship match, have a good story being told for them to work their way up to the championship match, and then the payoff of them winning is, felt, and we feel
it comes more down to the story than anything else.
Right.
Even if, you remember when I posted that thing about how Triple H won the Royal Rumble back in 2016?
Yeah.
When I watched that happen in person, I was fucking excited because this is a guy I grew up watching, and I didn't think I had any other opportunities to see this guy win a championship anymore.
Right.
It was just, it's something that I was able to be more excited about simply because of the fact that I was there. That's just kind of how I watch things, in person. Had I watched that on TV, I may have been a little more pissed off about it because, it's a veteran winning a championship from all these current guys. Now, if they were heels winning the titles, just winning them flippantly, and then having someone, a number 1 contender come in, and like a current women's tag team champions, current team come in and win them from them.
Squad.
That'd be a good way. That'd be a good story. It'd almost be better for the sake of the story for them to not earn them. And that's the thing, like, it's be one of those things where, like, for the sake of the story, you may have to sacrifice the earning factor of it because you guys have to remember, pro wrestling is not real.
Oof. You're opening up another can of worms getting open up there, buddy.
I know it is, but it's like at the same time, I feel like as a fan, I have the right to open that can up.
What's not real and what's predetermined is the outcome of the match, the story, a lot of times the dialogue. What is real is the fact that you have 2, sometimes more people in the ring, and not the outcome, but the effect of what you're doing in the ring, that is real. I mean, the potential of getting injured is real.
Right.
The danger is real.
That's true.
There's also times where what's being said on the microphone has blurred the lines between fiction and reality, i.e. a 2011 Vegas pipe bomb by CM Punk, or I could go on and on and on. Or a curtain call by Triple H, Shawn Michaels, Hall and Nash, in Madison Square Garden or whatever it was.
My thing about it is, if they're heels and they're earning their way to a tag title, that's not going to make me hate them. Right. Them just like going out of their way to, just win it in the way that's going to make them deserve it in the least way possible. That's going to make me hate them, and that's what I want to see.
Right. If they want to come back and be heels, but likely that won't happen because they're they could if they wanted to. They wanted to come back and, just cheap shot the baby faces and sneak a victory doing twin magic or whatever, but
speaking on behalf of specifically Nikki, I think that is when Nikki Bella is at her best.
Oh yeah. Time will only tell. If we see the Bella Twins come back and win a tag team championship, hey, I'm all for it.
I'll take it.
Yep.
I said, hold on.
Again, give me the money.
Vince, there's may not be a whole lot more times that you see me doing this, so you might as well accept it.
Right.
I hope people don't try to decipher my card number like through that blurry shit.
Oh goodness. Well, keep a close eye on your. I didn't do anything. It wasn't me, dude. It wasn't me.
Yeah.
Anywho, is there anything before we wrap up here? Is there anything else? I think we pretty much covered a lot. We covered everything for the most part. We went through.
I actually got one there.
I
actually got a couple things.
Okay, go for it.
We got some news.
I don't, brother. I'm all tuckered out, and I'm looking for. Now I think I got it. I think I got it all out of my system. But if you got more, go for it. I'll try and I'll play along.
Okay. Give me a minute. Damn it. So this comes from WrestleVotes. There has been internal discussions about moving the scheduled date of WrestleMania 37 from March 28th to either April 11th or April 18th. The goal remains to have fans in attendance for the event. The thought process of moving back to the show a few weeks only helps that out. So I will say this. The WWE has been getting a lot of flack since the pandemic started of how they've been handling it. I actually like this because this is just one step of them actually trying to do something right. Because it's like if they actually do want to try to do something to try to have fans, the best thing that they can do is try to move things back as much as they possible. It's not it's only a few weeks, but that's just
right.
Every little bit helps at this point. I don't know. What are your thoughts on that?
Honestly, with them moving dates, more power to them. It really doesn't. To me, if they're trying to move back dates to, I guess this is them doing long-term planning in regards to trying to get more. They're kind of if you're talking NXT, you're kind of already having somewhat of a live audience back, but it's still not what you're used to. If they're trying to, plan long term to a point where they're able to have fans back again, go for it. Not really in big opposition to that.
Right. I feel you there. And then I got one more. So, and this one's very grain of salt at this point, but essentially WWE in the current long term is trying to have fans right now, and they're also in the current time in the process of getting ready to leave the Amway Center, getting ready to leave the Thunderdome, and they're looking for other locations. This comes from 411 Mania. It says WWE rumored to have talked about using Tropicana Field as their new venue. And I quote, WWE has until December 5th to clear out of Orlando's Amway Center to find a new venue for their Raw and SmackDown programming. Dave Meltzer shares some more info on the details of the situation on today's Wrestling Observer newsletter. While it's not clear where WWE will go next, Meltzer noted that the company has to move out of the Amway Center about 2 weeks after November 24th, so the Amway Center can prep for Orlando Magic's new season. Meltzer added that one location that was talked about was by WWE was Tropicana Field in St. Petersburg, Florida. Tropicana Field is a baseball stadium and home to the Tampa Bay Rays. So it kind of goes against what they were initially looking for, which was newer venues that can house their Thunderdome technology.
Mhm.
But you also got to think, if they're trying to bring back fans, do they really need the Thunderdome?
No.
They really don't. I personally am a fan of the idea, even if the stadium is older, because here's the thing. What's a map like? Look at it. What AEW is doing. Where are they currently? Daly's Place, right?
Yeah, I think.
Daly's Place in Jacksonville. It's like an amphitheater. What's a massive perk to like their venue right now?
Wait. You said this is whose venue? This is WWE's?
No, AEW's venue is very spacious.
Right. They have enough room to have up to 1,000 fans in attendance, all families. They're able to have, it's a very spacious venue, and they're able to do social distancing and space everybody out.
Yeah. And so it seems unconventional to try to have Raw and SmackDown and pay-per-views, like regular pay-per-views at a baseball stadium. But when it's spacious like that, you don't have to pack it to capacity, and you can use that space to your advantage, and you could have limited capacity, and you can do you can have that social distancing and that limited capacity that you need to try to make, have the fans that you need to, you would like to have in attendance.
Right.
You don't really need the Thunderdome stuff, even if it is an older venue.
Exactly.
Like John Moxley even said, it's not going to make your product better.
Right, exactly.
I would say, if you're looking for a new venue, if you're trying to bring fans back, you probably don't really need to be thinking about, ones that can house that kind of stuff. It's domed, so you don't need to worry about, you can still do pyro and things of that nature. For the most part, I think they would have a good setup going there. I personally don't see any issue with it, especially if they're going to, the only real thing that they need to look at is just making sure that they enforce everything. Right. That's, I don't know. I don't know what your thoughts are on that, but
I neither agree nor disagree. It's one of those things where it's like they're going to do whatever. If their goal is to get as many fans into the arena as possible so that they can eliminate the Thunderdome technology. Again, I think it's a precaution that they added it in, obviously specifically for COVID. If they want to do away with it and start to begin to do what AEW is doing and having social distancing amongst fans like the way AEW is doing, more power to them. It's one of those things where, personally, as long as they're able to still perform, and if it's in front of an audience, they're doing this thing now where it's like half live crowd, half virtual Thunderdome technology. Personally, why WWE is doing that versus, and not doing it the way AEW is doing it, I honestly don't get it. But
that's my thing.
The sooner that they're able to bring it back up to the way it was, the better. But I don't know. There's a lot of unforeseen circumstances. That's just been the story of 2020.
Yeah, it is. That's really all I have.
Anywho, all right. Ladies and gentlemen, for tuning in, it's been Noah G with the sauce, Haas at the sauce, two of us bringing you an old school episode via YouTube. We're going to count it out like we always do. If pro wrestling was a barbecue, you could count on us. Bring the sauce. Good night, everyone.
See you next week, guys.